covered 1/5 of the whole of the black lines. So then you can see that 3/15 is equivalent to 1/5. Okay. So remember that that's why it's important to also know your factors, because that way you can easily reduce your fractions to smaller versions of themselves, and which is called simplification. So always, whenever you provide an answer, look to simplify your results. Okay? So now we are going to proceed with subtraction. Okay? So when you subtract fractions, you do exactly the same process that you would do with addition, but now you, instead of adding, you're taking away. So let's say that I have 3/7 minus 2/3. Okay, so we look for the common denominator. That's 21. 21 divided by 7 is 3, times 3 is 9, minus 21 divided by 3 is 7, times 2 is 14. Now that comes out to negative, because 14 is greater than 9 and it has a negative sign, 5 over 21. So if you take 2/3 from 3/7, then you have a negative 5 over 21. Another example. Let's think of 6 6/9 minus let's see, 4 7th. Okay, seem too light B. So in here we can review multiples just to verify what we have. So the multiples of 9 are 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72. Okay, and then for 7 would be 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63. Okay, so the least common multiple between these two numbers is definitely 63. There's nothing else. So 63 divided by 9 is 7, times 6 is 42. And then minus 63 divided by 7 is 9, times 4 is 36. So then I say 42 minus 36 is 6 over 63. And that would be my final answer. Would that be correct? Let's see. I have here 6 over 9. But if you pay attention, then I could have simplified this fraction, and I could have said that 6 over 9 is the same as 3 times 2 over 3 times 3. Correct? So that becomes 1. So I can say, and it be 2/3. So let's see if what happens if instead of 6 over 9, I would have simplified and I would have said 2, sorry about that, it would have said 2/3 minus 4/7. Then my common factor would be 21. Correct? So 21 divided by 3 is 7, times 2 is 14, minus 21 divided by 7 is 3, times 4 is 12. And then I would have ended up with 2 over 21. Now, how come I ended up with 2 over 21 here, but 6 over 63 here? And the reason is simple. Although my final answer is correct, I needed to do something more. I needed to see if there were any more factors for these numbers. And of course there are. The factors for 6 would be 2 times 3, and the factors for 63 would be 3 times 21, right? So now you see that what I needed to do after solving this equation was to actually simplify. So the proper answer for this equation is 2 over 21. And so that means that 6/9 minus 4/7 is the same as 2/3 minus 4/7. 2 over 21. So that's how you make sure that you always check your factors and verify whether or not you can reduce the fraction in order to simplify it. Okay? So let's do another exercise, another subtraction exercise. Let's think of another pair. Let's say 7/9 minus, or actually let's use 3 fractions in here, minus 2/3 minus 1/5. Okay, so first I check that whether or not I can reduce the fractions. I cannot. All right, so then the next step would be my common multiple. Between 3 and 5 is 15, but 9 only has 9, 18, 27. Nine times 27, 36, 45. And if you think about it, 45 would be great because 9 times 5 is 45. 3 times 15 is 45. So we can say 45. Let me correct that number. It looks like a different value altogether. So let me do it again. So 45. So 45 divided by 9 is 5, times 7 is 35, minus 45 divided by 3 is 15, times 2 is 30, and then 45 divided by 5 is 9. Okay, so 35 minus 30 equals 5, minus 4 is minus 9, sorry, equals negative 4. Let's check it again. 35 minus 30 is 5, minus 9 is negative 4 over 45. Can I reduce this fraction? No, because there's no multiples that go together, so my final answer is negative 4 over 45. Now, let's subtract a mixed fraction and another fraction. So now I'll say 2 3/5 minus 1 2/3. Okay, so let's look at it and see how we can solve this. So we can try to do 2 minus 1, just subtract the wholes. So that give me 2 minus 1 equals 1, and then I'll subtract the fractions by themselves. So 3/5 minus 2/3, and that would be 15. That's 3 times 3 is 9, minus 5 times 2 is 10, and this equals negative 1/15. Okay, so if I tried to add this 1 minus 1/15, okay, 1 minus 1/15 equals, now I have 1, correct? So I can do this 15 over 15, because that 15 over 15 is 1, minus 1 over 15, that is 14 over 15. And that should be my final answer. But let's double check this by going to the next page. Okay, so it's 2 3/5 minus 1 2/3. So 2 3/5 minus 1 2/3. So just like in addition, I can turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. So that would be 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 13/5, minus 1 times 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5, minus 5/3. The common denominator is 15, divided by 5 is 3, so that'd be 39, minus 15 divided by 3 is 5. So that'd be 25. And the answer for this would be 14 over 15. If you remember, I got 14 over 15. So in both instances, we got the same answer. So you can solve as a mixed number, or you can decide to do the wholes first and then mixed numbers afterwards. Either way, you have to get the same answer. Okay? Now, let's do one more. Let's do one more, and then I'll switch to multiplication. Okay, so let's do 6 3/4 minus 2 1/3 minus 1 1/5. Okay, so we can do it. We can do a split thing, right? So I can say here 6 minus 2 minus 1, that equals 3. Okay, now I can split the part and say 3/4 minus 1/5 minus 1/3. The common denominator for these numbers would be what? So 4 is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 28, 32, 36, 40. Let's see, 3 is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, 48, and then we have 5. Let's see, 5e, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Now, if we review these numbers so far, we see that we have, between 3 and 4, we have 12 is common, then we have 24 as common, then we have 36 as common, and 48 as common. However, it's not common here. Then we have common for 4 and 5 as 20 and 40. Between 3 and 5 it would be 15, it would be 30. But then let's go, if we extend 4, I can say 44, 48, 52, let me write it here, 52, 56, and 60. And then if I continue with 3, then I go 60 as well. So the least common factor for all 3 is actually 60 in this case. Okay? So 60 divided by 4 is 15. 60 divided by 4 is 15, times 3 is 45. 60 divided by 5 is 12. And then 60 divided by 3 is 20. Okay, so now I have 45 minus 12 would be 27, correct? No, sorry, 23, or 33, my goodness. It's 33 minus 20, that's 13 over 60. Okay? So, in this case, because the fraction is positive, I need to add it. So my final answer should be 3 13/60s. But because I'm not sure, I'm not certain that I did it properly, I will double check what I did. So this time I'm going to use the mix and turn it into an improper fraction. So 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 27. 27 fourth. Then I have 2 1/3, which is 6 plus 1 is 7 thirds. And then I have 1 times 5 is 5 plus 1 is 6. 6/5. Then I have to, again, same factors. So it's 60. So 60 divided by 4 is 15 times 27. Okay, 15. So now I need to do 15 times 27. That'd be 35. 3 times 2 is 10. 13. 7, 2, 5, 10, you carry 1, 405, so it's 405, then minus 60 divided by 3 is 20, that's 140, minus 5 is 12, 72. So now we have 405 minus 140 minus 7. So that's 15 minus 7 is 8. This is 10. That's 9 minus 4 is 5. And this would be 3 minus 1 is 2. 258. Okay, so 258 divided by 60. That means that I have to do let's see, did I do this correctly? I think I messed something up, because it should be, hold on, 5. Let's see, let me double check this subtraction, because I think I messed it up, so I don't want to continue without messing up. Okay, so 4 or 5 minus 140 would be 5. 10 minus 4, 9 minus, yeah, that's 10 minus 4 is 6, and that would be 360. No, it has to be 265. 265. 265 minus 72. 265 minus 72. That would be 3. Then this would be 16 is 9. 193. So 193 divided by 60 has to be 3. And that gives me 180, so 13. So the answer should be 3 1360s. So 3 1360 and 3 1360. So the answer matches. The procedure is correct. So you can take the fraction, subtract the wholes, and then subtract the fractions, or you can turn the fractions into improper fractions and solve. Either way, you end up exactly with the same value. Okay, so now I will